A Travis Scott and WWE Champion John Cena tag team match has reportedly been pitched within WWE. An update on what AAA wants for Triple Mania following the acquisition by WWE, and an update on the acquisition timeline when talks first started taking place between the two companies. The reason why John Cena turned heel at Elimination Chamber and not WrestleMania 41 has been revealed. We've also got more details on Cody Rhodes possibly turning heel in the future. We have the viewership information for the April 14th episode of WWE Monday Night Raw on Netflix. WWE are reportedly considering calling up Tony D'Angelo to the main roster. Randy Orton handpicked Joe Hendry to be his opponent at WrestleMania 41. Could Switchblade Jay White be on his way back to AEW television next week at AEW Collision? And Logan Paul reveals he offered Stone Cold Steve Austin $1 million to wear the Prime Bottle suit in WWE. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. As always, you can see right there, we're at 21,335 subscribers, on the way to 25k. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, click the notification bell. You'll be notified when new videos are uploaded to the channel, or we go live for future live streams, such as watch-alongs or post-shows. In the month of May, we'll be doing Backlash and AEW Double or Nothing. Let's get straight into today's news stories, beginning with a major tag team match being pitched in the future for WWE. Now, Travis Scott may not be done with the squared circle in WWE following WrestleMania 41. According to Corey Hayes of PWN/Body Slam, there has been a pitch and discussions have taken place within WWE about Travis Scott potentially teaming with John Cena at some point in 2025. Now, there is no word on who Cena and Scott may face, nor when the match may happen. Beyond that, nothing is concrete at the moment. Travis Scott played a major role at WrestleMania 41, interfering in the main event to help John Cena defeat Cody Rhodes and become a 17-time WWE champion. Scott aligned with Cena and The Rock following Cena's heel turn at Elimination Chamber 1 month earlier, a show which resulted in Scott reportedly having heat in WWE after he gave Cody Rhodes a black eye and a burst eardrum following a slap. Scott did take a crossroads from Cody at WrestleMania 41, as the rapper has been training to wrestle with Booker T. Triple H hinted following WWE's biggest show of the year that Scott could have a match on WWE programming in the future. Now, more details have been released regarding WWE's acquisition of AAA Lucha Libre. Following the bombshell announcement that WWE has acquired Lucha Libre promotion AAA, the company announced that the next edition of Triple Mania will take place on June 15th at Arena Monterrey in Monterrey, Mexico. Speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer shared some details on the expectations for the event. Quote, "They jacked up the tickets, which makes people believe there will be WWE talent at the show," Meltzer said. "I know that AAA wants, for obvious reasons, Pentagon, Phoenix, Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, people like that. I don't know who's going to be there, who's not, and it's not official that there's going to be WWE talent on the show." Meltzer pointed out the belief among fans that WWE booked the show after purchasing AAA as a way to undercut AEW Grand Slam Mexico, which will include CMLL talent and take place in Mexico City on June 18th. However, Monterrey and Mexico City are many miles apart, with Meltzer doubting WWE scheduled the show in an attempt to deter fans from attending the AEW event. Quote, "It's not going to hurt the gate," Meltzer continued. "It will be very interesting because it will be a publicity war in the country. I think that's the big thing." Now, Meltzer believes WWE is attempting to ensure that any mainstream media coverage that week regarding wrestling goes to them and not AEW. With CMLL on a hot streak in recent days, Meltzer believes their involvement could help ensure that the special episode of AEW Dynamite moves plenty of tickets. Now, as far as the timeline for WWE acquiring AAA, we've got more details on that. Of course, WWE are now the owners of Lucha Libre AAA worldwide in a move that has shocked the wrestling world. The takeover was formally announced during the WWE WrestleMania 41 Night 1 pre-show on April 19th, but several reports suggest the deal was several years in the making, with Lucha Libre Online stating that initial discussions between the two sides began in 2019. AAA at the time opted to form a working relationship with All Elite Wrestling rather than sell to WWE, with WWE changing focus and negotiating with CMLL about a potential takeover. The historic Lucha company wanted WWE to take over its real estate holdings as part of any deal, with it assuming that the famous Arena Mexico was part of the portfolio. WWE counter-offered for a deal without the real estate holdings, but CMLL stood firm, with WWE exiting talks. WWE and AAA began negotiations once more in in 2022, with an agreement reached in 2025 prior to AEW's recent announcement that they are set to run their debut shows in Mexico this summer. Whilst the deal is being seen as an acquisition of AAA by WWE, the arrangement may not be as straightforward as it seems, with the press release noting how Mexican sports and entertainment holding company Philippe are part of the deal. Little is known about Philippe, with it assumed that Philippe are simply funding AAA rather than running the operation. As to who owns what in terms of percentages is also unknown, with either TKO or Philippe assumed to have the majority stake in AAA. Subsequent reports have suggested that WWE could be set to rebrand AAA as NXT Mexico, but that's just one outcome that's possibly on the table right now. Now, obviously, there's been a lot of talk, hasn't there, about the road to WrestleMania, the creative, and John Cena's heel turn at Elimination Chamber. After 22 years as a babyface, John Cena turned heel in the closing moments of Elimination Chamber, aligning with The Rock and Travis Scott to beat down Cody Rhodes. The Rock has revealed this week that WWE Chief Content Officer Paul Triple H Levesque pitched Cena's heel turn. Reports have indicated the original plan was for Cena to turn at WrestleMania 41 during his main event match with Cody Rhodes. Dave Meltzer has reported on Wrestling Observer Radio, though, that it was John Cena who decided to turn heel at Elimination Chamber instead of WrestleMania. Quote, obviously there was the decision about John Cena on the day of the show on whether the turn was going to be that day or whether they were going to save the turn for WrestleMania. That was John Cena's decision. He made the call to do it. Levesque makes the final call, but John Cena was the one. The decision came within the last couple of days, Meltzer said. If you remember the day of the show, the segment with Dwayne was originally going to be after the first or second match. It was not going to be after the Chamber. That's because they were not going to do the turn that night. The turn was going to be at Mania, and then John wanted to do the turn that night, so they moved the segment to the end of the show. John Cena defeated Cody Rhodes in the main event of WrestleMania 41 with the assistance of Travis Scott. Fans expected The Rock to appear at the show, but Dwayne Johnson has said that he decided to step away from WWE, so the spotlight was solely on John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. Cena is currently on his WWE retirement tour. He has 27 dates remaining for the rest of 2025. Now, as far as a heel turn for Cody Rhodes, reportedly that could still be on the table for the future. Now, an update has emerged on the possibility of former WWE champion Cody Rhodes turning heel coming out of WrestleMania 41. The WrestleMania main event saw Rhodes lose the undisputed WWE Championship to John Cena, thanks in part to outside interference from Travis Scott. Absent from the scene was The Rock, who essentially sparked the whole Rhodes-Cena build at Elimination Chamber when Cena turned heel on Rhodes after Rhodes rejected the chance to sell his soul to The Rock. It's known that Rock originally did want Rhodes to turn heel and join him. On the Pat McAfee show this week, Rock reiterated that he thinks Rhodes should turn heel after another run as a babyface upon returning from however long he's off TV after Mania. Dave Meltzer provided an update on that, saying that even though The Rock keeps pitching a Rhodes heel turn, it isn't the plan. He said, quote, I was told it is not the plan. It could happen. The Rock could possibly even force it, but nobody is under the impression that's what they're doing. Well, not officially announced, it seems that Cody Rhodes will be off TV for at least some period following the loss to Cena in the main event of WrestleMania. Now, speaking of WrestleMania, we've got an update on the viewership information for the WrestleMania 41 go-home episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Throughout most of March, WWE Raw managed to draw over 3 million global viewers per episode, with the show consistently ranking in the top 10 on Netflix. However, since the beginning of April, the Red Brand's viewership has started to dip below the 3 million mark, and despite many expecting the show to rebound heading into the final Raw before WrestleMania 41, there was only a slight increase in viewers from the previous episode. According to WrestleNomics, Raw averaged 2.9 million viewers over the past week, along with a total of 5.6 million hours viewed. Raw also ranked number 9th globally for the week among English-language Netflix TV shows and finished number 3 in the US after placing outside of the top 5 on the weekly charts for 2 straight weeks. April 14th marks the 4th time that Raw has ranked 3rd in the US on Netflix, but the program is still yet to finish in the top 2 since moving to streaming. Despite viewership declining since March, ticket sales for Raw continued to perform well throughout 2025, with WWE selling 14,194 tickets for last week's show at the Golden One Center in Sacramento, California. Most impressively, ticket sales have increased by 32% for Raw in the second quarter of this year, while also seeing a 3% rise in sales since WWE's last visit to Sacramento. YouTube numbers for last Monday's episode were also strong, but one video in particular outshined the rest. The full segment between Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, CM Punk and Paul Heyman has nearly accumulated 3 million views, with Jey Uso's promo promising to win the World Heavyweight Championship almost eclipsing 450,000 clicks. Now, Tony D'Angelo, he could be on his way to the WWE main roster, according to reports. According to Corey Hayes of PWN/Bodyslam, Tony D'Angelo's name has been thrown around within WWE as someone who could get called up to the main roster. D'Angelo has been on WWE NXT since his debut in October 2021, and he's done everything on the brand except win the NXT Championship, having held the NXT Tag Team titles on 2 occasions, the NXT Heritage Cup once, and the NXT North American Championship once too. D'Angelo has been the leader of the D'Angelo family for much of his NXT run, but the faction was engulfed in a civil war at NXT Stand and Deliver as Channing Stacks Lorenzo turned on Tony D. Luca Crucifino has since been laid out in the desert by Stacks, while D'Angelo has moved Adriana Rizzo to a safe house. Other names rumoured for WWE main roster call-ups include the former NXT champion Trick Williams and Lola Vice. There is no word on which brand any of the talents would move to, nor when WWE could bring them to the main roster. A bit of an update here when it comes to Randy Orton's Open Challenge at WrestleMania. TNA World Champion Joe Hendry was selected by Randy Orton to be the 14-time World Champion's opponent at WrestleMania 41. Orton was originally scheduled to face Kevin Owens at WrestleMania, but that match ended up being scrapped because of KO's neck injury. This led to Orton hosting an Open Challenge at WrestleMania, which was answered by Joe Hendry. Multiple names were considered for the Open Challenge spot, including Jeff Hardy and Uncle Howdy, according to Corey Hayes of PWN/Bodyslam. Hendry ultimately received the spot, though, after he was handpicked by Orton to be his WrestleMania opponent. Orton is said to be a fan of Hendry and his work. Hendry's 3-minute match with Orton was an even contest, with Hendry only losing after he spun straight into an RKO from out of nowhere. There was some criticism of the match, with some fans expressing their view that it was a glorified squash. Joe Hendry himself and TNA talent have disagreed with this opinion, however, with TNA wrestlers feeling the moment provided the promotion with more exposure. In addition to selecting Hendry as his opponent, Randy Orton has also criticised the price of WrestleMania 41 tickets, calling the cost embarrassing. Jay White could be on his way back to AEW television, according to new advertisements. Switchblade Jay White last competed in AEW on the March 29th episode of Collision, when he picked up the victory over Kevin Knight ahead of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament that he was set to be a part of. However, White never got the opportunity to compete in the tournament, with him being sidelined with a legitimate injury that kept him from competing, with Knight instead taking his spot against Will Ospreay at AEW Dynasty. Jay White appeared on a Collision episode the following week to confirm his broken hand injury, which has been storyline attributed to the Death Riders, saying that he would be looking for revenge on the group upon his return. It seems as though AEW fans may not have to wait too much longer to see Jay White back in action, as he's currently one of the names prominently advertised for next weekend's AEW Collision show in Atlantic City, New Jersey. White being advertised for the show seemingly implies that he will be making his return to AEW television within the next week. And finally, Stone Cold Steve Austin in the Prime Bottle suit at WrestleMania. Well, Logan Paul tried to make it happen. Logan Paul said he gave Stone Cold Steve Austin the opportunity to go viral. Over the years, Paul's Prime brand has established itself as a leading sponsor for WWE, along with their logo being featured on the ring. Prime Hydration Station has been an important part of WWE programming, allowing wrestlers to often use the props during in-ring competition. Furthermore, other influencers like KSI and IShowSpeed have participated in the Prime festivities, appearing in the signature bottle suits at WrestleMania. On the latest episode of Impulsive, Logan Paul revealed that he once offered Stone Cold Steve Austin $1 million to wear the Prime suit in WWE. He said, quote, "Bro, we offered Steve $1 million to be in the Prime bottle. He didn't do it. Instead, he ran a poor woman over with an ATV. We offered him $1 million. We were like, bro, do you want to get in this bottle?" I don't think he considered it for a second. Imagine the face reveal, though. You open the Prime bottle and it's fucking Stone Cold. He could have done anything, which is why I think it would have worked ultimately. Maybe 1 year. I'm just saying, bro. Now, despite the speculation that the offer was for WrestleMania 41, Paul didn't specify when he made the pitch to Steve Austin, although it is assumed it was the recent PLE. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.